Division 1 round 4. So I'm unfortunately missing 2 riders in Adam and Fadley, but we still got. So, oh, for God's sake, Sire's the problem. It's a great start. It's a great start to things. So let's get going again. Things never simple in these things. Just waiting on LCR boys, who I imagine are probably just restarting their games. Right, let's make sure everything's right. Right, let's get going again. And these guys don't have to worry about weather anymore since I made sure it's clear. I don't want to screw them over and have them all shout at Sire for disconnect. You know it's not his fault. So it is Pramac 1-2 with Nelson on pole, Sire second and Cammy rounding up the front row, and then the LCR duo with Finley and Howling with VTR, and then Josh on last place on the grid in 7th, due to not being able to participate in qualifying yesterday.
Hello all you race fans, we're here in Assen, bringing you live coverage of the MotoGP Class Dutch Grand Prix. The skies over the track are clear of clouds and the latest weather reports forecast.
Right, success. Just waiting on Howling now. And now we wait on Josh. Right, let's go. So Nelson looking to take his first win of the season. The last time they raced here at Aston, he took the win, just ahead of. Well, I can't remember who was in second, but we're off. And Saya and Kami getting better reaction time than Nelson, and Nelson has dropped into third place. As they go into turn one, it's going to be Kami who leads the way. Nelson going up the inside of his teammates. No, he can't. So looking up the inside first, but just can't quite get through. Kami's gone a bit wide, but Saya runs wide as well. Howling's dropped to 7th. Finley and Josh side by side through turn 4. This time we change direction into turn 5. This is where moves can be made. And Saya's got the exit on Kami, and he's going to use that Ducati power to stay in front. But Kami's going to try to use the torque of the Yamaha, but he's just out of range as they fly through the chicane. Nelson looking for a way past, and he just has been denied. Finley's held off Josh's attack, and Josh has actually fell to 7th, as the order is basically the same. Well, from 4th down to 7th, it's the same as it was in the grid. So they'll go flying into turn 7. But look at these three. Oh, and Kami looking up the inside of Saya into turn 10, turn 9. Wait, I've lost Kami. Yeah, that's turn 10. Sorry. Now we're building through all the fast corners here into the Ramshook fast left-hander, and Nelson's just gone a little bit wide, I feel. Going off the track as well, don't be doing that too often. Very easy to lose track limits here. So it's Saya who leads the way at the end of lap 1, 13 to go, and pretty much everyone has got a warning apart from Josh and Saya, so not going too well at the moment. Howling's now in 4th, so his qualifying he wasn't bad, he was only 4 tenths off, but he qualified in 5th, but his race pace is quite strong. He just lacks concentration at times, so he just needs to make sure he keeps that concentration up, and he should be able to fight for a home podium, as Nelson is just in front of him as they all go through the fast chicane. Front three seem to be quite similar in pace. It's a break into turn 9. You see the different places where the bike's going. It's kind of run a little bit wide on the exit there, taking a little bit too much entry speed. So we gain and build the speed. Nelson going around the curb there, very close to the grass. Now chucking it into turn 12. Now into a complex of turns 13, 14 and 15. Doing the Ramshook nicely there, not doing the deck. As Josh has gone down, possibly doing the deck, or he's done the opposite side. Nelson's going to get the run on Kami through the chicane. No, he's not, because Kami perfectly blocked him after running quite wide. But Kami's got to be careful for long lap now, as he's only got one more warning before he gets one. Nelson's going to go up the inside of Kami into turn 1. He isn't given space by Kami. Oh, and Josh has gone in. No, it's not. VTR has gone into the path of Nelson. Nothing really, but none of them could have done anything there. Oh, I guess absolutely, because he didn't give. I'm probably guessing he didn't see him, but it just sort of works out, I guess, the best way to deal with that. Just didn't really give Nelson any space. So this now promotes Howling and Finley into the podium places and gives Saya a nice lead. Saya could be on for 2 wins, 2 wins in 2 races. This would really put his championship, and Kami, I can tell, is a bit probably maybe not a bit baffled, or I don't know what the right word is, but he's probably got a long lap anyway due to his track limits. So I guess I've just made it quicker for him. But Nelson now down to last place. So Nelson needs to script. He doesn't. He can't afford to do a Mogsy. He needs to. I don't even know what Mogsy. Before if you haven't seen the race, but Mogsy had a bit of a stinker with a similar thing happening. As VTR goes up the oh my god! Look at all these lot. Very close together. Nelson trying to get into 5th place. I think he'll just go from the inside of VTR. There's VTR runs quite wide. Through Ramshook is now going to the chicane. Nelson's got. It's a pretty impossible task now to get anywhere better than 5th. Let's look to go up the inside of Josh. Into turn 1 again. And Cammy's taken his long lap. And he's failed it. How's he failed probably his long lap in the world. And VTR has gone down at turn 3. Josh looking up the inside of Nelson. But Nelson holds position and has moved into 5th place. So Cammy's got to retake the long lap penalty. It's probably worth doing because it will save you time than just taking the penalty. Because you only lose about 1.5 seconds. So the two LCR boys could be on for a double podium here as Cammy's looking to go up the inside of Finley to turn 9. And he might actually get through here because Finley's ran quite wide. But Cammy's forced to go on to the curb and can't get through. Howling 3 seconds from Sayet. We look back, as you can see, well, Finley's gone quite wide. That might allow Cammy to go up the inside. He does, but Finley's going to fight straight back into the chicane. And he's made it work. Nicely done by Finley there. And he's got the Honda power so he can just blast away down the straight compared to the Yamaha as they go into the braking zone of turn 1. I'll tell you what, I'll always got to be careful of track limits. Is Cammy going to retake? Yeah, Cammy's going to try and retake it. He just needs to hold it in 2nd gear, just let the bike flow through. Right, he's done it now so we can get back on track and try and fight for this podium. As Finley, he's had a bit of a stinker there of an exit. Don't really know, I'm guessing his bike, I'm going to guess because he's a bit offline there, the bike's just spun up quite a lot. Nelson, the fastest after the race, will be absolutely fuming about what's happened. Howling drifting it through turn 9, but he's round quite wide because of it. So Howling and Finley quite similar on pace, it looks like. Just they're making small mistakes, so they can't get away from each other at the moment anyway. Finley yet to get a podium in Division 1 this season. Taking 2 6th and a 4th. Howling on 4 warnings, Finley on 2, so Finley's got the advantage so far. And Nelson has now got a long lap penalty due to track limits, so it gets even worse for the champion. And Howling is on a fine line at the moment, and Cammy is coming after the pair of them. Howling right on the limits there, taking the perfect line, running a really wide line, trying to get a bit of an exit here to go into the chicane, not chicane hairpin. Finley getting a much better exit than last time. Sire looks away and it looks like this race might be done and dusted for him. If he can just keep doing what he's doing, and so it's a bit similar to a ref, and you manage to deal the pressure of Cammy quite well there. In terms of championship wise, Cammy will still be in front. So, I think. Yeah, because Fadley's not here today, so Cammy's going to probably form quite a bit of a gap. Not too much of a gap, but still a little bit of a gap over Nelson. Sire could be a big gainer out of this, you know, he could really rise through the ranks. So could Howling and Finley. Getting through the fast turn 12. So gap between Howling and Finley staying roughly around about 7 tenths. Cammy's gained by a couple of tenths in this lap to Finley as we go into the final chicane. All Finley's round quite hot into there, and that's lost him quite a bit of time. So we might be back under attack from VTR, Cammy. I'm in a bit of a stinker at the moment. But I think I can sort of tell Howley's having to ride, not reserved, but with a bit more care. He can't afford to run onto the green at any point now, because that will be a long lap penalty and that will be him down to 4th place. Oh, Finley's really messed that up, and Cammy is into 3rd place now. And I don't think, yeah, Finley's mistake's too big. Oh, and that would have, well, that's where the Cammy would have got his long lap. So it just took him a few laps longer than needed. In turn 9, Cammy's always had a big wobble on the front. That's running really wide. But he's just about held position to Finley. But Finley looking at the inside, maybe into turn 11, but it's quite a tight move that at that angle. So can Cammy catch Howling for 2nd place? This is the exact same. This is the exact same order, the top 4, as the previous race. If you just watch. Oh my god, what's going wrong today? If you just switch Josh and Nelson around, it's the same result as last week. So very interesting stuff at the moment. As these 3 go into the braking zone of turn 1, Howling trying his best to keep the consistency going. 1 second covering the top, well, second, 3rd and 4th places. So we now go into the fast chicane. You can see how much time Cammy makes just through the corners. It's like Yamaha is, notoriously good through corners compared to the Honda, especially since the change to Michelin's. And Cammy's going to go up the inside into turn 9, but Howling's just a bit too strong on the brakes. And Howling covers the inside line for turn 10, forcing Cammy to take a wider line because he can't afford to run the same line, as he'll probably just run into the back of Howling and risk a crash. As we now go into the fast turn 12. Oh, Cammy's looking to make a move. He just can't quite get through. But could he? Oh, Howling's wide into the chicane. Just about not getting a long lap. And here comes Cammy round the outside. And he's through into 2nd place. Can Howling fight back into turn 1? No, he can't. But Cammy's wide. No, he's not. He's actually held it. I thought he was going to run wide there, but the Yamaha just kept it turned. And Cammy's now back into 2nd place, but he's round wide. Howling could go back up the inside, but he's not in range to make a move. And Cammy, he's just going to keep it clean, and I think he will be in a safe 2nd position. Howling's round the slipstream though, but I just don't think the straight is long enough for him to capitalise. Yeah, it's not. So, Howling trying to keep tabs with Cammy, but Cammy's pace is a bit stronger compared to these two. Meanwhile, Sayat 6.5 seconds out in front. So whilst one Pramac rider is having rotten luck, the other one is having supreme luck. But who's going to win out the 2 LCRs? I mean, it could still be a double LCR podium. Should we go into the final chicane? 3 laps to go, and Howling has got a long lap penalty. Could this be the defining moment in this race for the podium battle? Oh, and he's wide again. Howling's sort of starting to, well, he can start risking more now. That's the thing. He can afford 4 laps to go in there, because Ty is so far in front I didn't realise that he'd already crossed the line. But Howling can now start to afford more risks but then he can't afford too many risks because he could get a second long lap. Through the fast chicane he goes. Oh, we've made another mistake, and Finley's going to be right there. Nothing really nothing really separates them in terms of pace. Pretty much identical. Finley starting to really get homed in on this Honda. Obviously Howling is a really big Honda fan, so he naturally likes the Honda. Finley not really used a Honda since 4 races ago, so he's had a bit of catch-up time to adjust to the bike, but it seems like he's finally starting to fine-tune it to his liking, and he's now running the same pace as his teammate, so this could be a very interesting championship battle between these two for the rest of the season. And Finley having a nice exit out of chicane, running a little bit on the curb there, so he's going to lose a bit of time. He's in the slipstream. Well, he doesn't need to make a move here, that's the key thing. He can just sit behind, let Howling take his long lap, and he can go through that way, which is probably his plan because he can probably hear me. Oh, and Howling right on the curb. Into turn 5 we go. I just think these Hondas are just struggling a little bit on the exit here, whether it's just spinning too much or you just can't get the acceleration on the ground. There's something amiss with the Hondas compared to the other bikes. Through the fast chicane again they go. On the brakes into turn 9. And into turn 10. And now 11. The rear tyre is really starting to spin a lot now at this stage because the tyres are pretty much dead. Howling's managed to pull about 5/10 on Finley in this lap. Howling's just been able to pull something in the third sector. Into the final chicane. Always wide though through the GT chicane, and Finley's all that work he's just done has just been lost. So 2 laps to go now. Oh, and Howling might be a bit wide as well. Finley's going to go up the... No, he's not. He's just going to sit right behind. He's got to be careful that Howling takes his long lap. That was... that was scary. That could have ended in an absolute disaster. Luckily it didn't. Howling's completed his long lap. He's got a 2-second gap to Finley. Now he's got to gain 2 seconds in 2 laps. With the pace Finley was setting previously, I doubt he'd be able to do that. He's going to have to hope for a long lap probably, or a crash, or some massive mistake. Nelson, all by himself, he'll be... I know for a fact he'll be fuming about the crash with Cammy. As you know, he's got the fastest lap. I would imagine he's probably got the strongest pace. Don't know what his pace is like compared to Sai. Probably very similar. I think the front three could have had a really close race actually if all the stuff hadn't happened to them. But it is what it is at the end of the day. And Saya is coming round Ramshook now to start. Well, he's just got the GT chicane to go, and he will start the final lap of this race. And could be heading towards his... He's just got a long lap. Well, he can take his time with this one. But he starts the final lap with a long lap, and he's on his way to taking a 2nd race victory in a row. I'm putting his name right in the championship picture. And here he goes, taking his long lap penalty. Taking it very cautiously. Finley's gone down. I cannot believe it. Finley has gone down at turn 1, and now he's got Nelson to contend with. Wait, how close Nelson? 1 second. Oh, Finley, you were so close to your podium. Oh, he will be absolutely kicking himself for that. All he had to do is bring it home, and he's throwing it away. Oh, he's going to make sure he doesn't get gobbled up by Nelson on the last lap. So Howler will be counting his lucky stars that he's got this home podium. At least one Dutch rider's got their home podium. Can Nelson salvage a 4th place here? I can only think Ramshook or the chicane. It's the only places that you can pass at this point, unless Finley messes up somewhere. As they start building up to the fast part of the track, Ducati will be gaining on the Honda because the Honda can't turn compared to the Ducati. Sire approaches the final corner now and is going to take his 2nd win in 2 races after having 2 trash races to begin with. Sire across the line to win the race. Cammy is 2nd. Howling will finish 3rd. Here we go to the final chicane and Nelson just simply is not close enough to make any sort of move. But can he get Finley to the line? No, he can't. Finley just holds on. Josh will cross the line in 6th as he just gets a long lap, and VTR will finish in 7th. Doing the chicane quite nicely there. And across the line.
While the riders complete their lap of... Before we go to see the celebration,
So we have it Sire
podium, let's take a
taking
look
the
at
win,
final results
Cammy in
in the
2nd,
MotoGP
Howling in
class.
3rd, Finley in 4th, Nelson in 5th, Josh in 6th, and VTR in 7th. Right, so we will go to Howling. So Howling, you spend most of your time during this race in 2nd place, but then you got passed by Cammy, then you got the long lap, which you did so well to avoid for so many laps. But you made just one mistake and you got it, and it looked like you were going to get 4th behind you, and then Finley was going to take his 1st podium of the season, but then, I don't know what happened, I assume he lost the front into turn 1, and you managed to get a home podium. So how was that race for you?
I'm really happy with the podium, but I'm not too happy because I knew I had the pace to win the race. Yesterday we tested a lot, but I was doubting myself and tested something and it did not work out. Maybe you could have seen it on camera. Out of every corner, too much wheel spin and the bike was not comfortable at all to ride. I was like on the edge of falling every corner, so I had to hold a little bit of a margin, to keep the bike safe, which put me in a position that was not good with the warnings and then the long lap. But other than that, I enjoyed the small battle I had with Kami and the long-term battle with Finley. Such unfortunate he made a stoppie in turn 1 and then the bumps out of the track caused him to crash. So that's unfortunate, but it looks good for LCR Honda, and for next race we're gonna do even more better.
Yeah, so well done. Another podium. LCR doing quite a good job at the moment. 2 3rd and 4th places. So we go on to the winner. It's 2 for 2 now. You had, well, it seems like the luck in the Pramac garage has completely switched. It's gone from Nelson having 2 podiums and you having 2 bad races to now you having 2 wins and Nelson having 2 bad races. So it's not going perfectly for Pramac, but it's 2 wins for you, Sire. How is it?
To be honest, I really wanted to win and I got what I wanted, but it was not easy, especially when I know during the testing with Menelson and Kami and all the other riders hauling, they were very fast. But I keep my head up, and on the start, Kami got the better start than me, and he got the whole shot on the first turn. And I saw Menelson want to try to attack straight away, and I on my gas as fast as possible so that he didn't get to pass me, because I was afraid Kami is gonna fly in front with his Yamaha on this track especially. But and then I touched Kami a little bit and he went a little bit wide and I got a better exit, and from there it's history. I just keep pushing. keep on hammer down. And yeah, so it's good for the championship. And congrats to Kami on the second position after the crash. And I'm sorry for my teammate Nelson for his home track. And also congrats to Holling, a good buddy. He got the podium again this season. Let's see how can we get back to the top. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so well done. I think you're now you're now second in the championship with Nelson, so
Well, thank you.
it's very
Thank
tight
you.
at the top. So that has been it for round 4. We'll be back next week with round 5 at Mugello, so that screams Ducati. So it could be a Ducati dominated round in both divisions. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Goodbye.